Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Sotah, page 22, which addresses the question, which is also found elsewhere: what is an Am Haaretz? An Am Haaretz is typically understood as someone who is not knowledgeable, but in this context, that person actually is not believed as far as any of his produce, in which typically a person has to separate Meiser, tithes, from his food in order for us to be able to eat it. So we will not trust this person in the event that he will be doing or not doing, as we're going to see what this is. He'll be considered to be an Am Haaretz. Furthermore, we're going to say he may be impure. If he touches something, it'll make things impure. We cannot trust this person that he's careful with his own level of purification. And the Talmud gives a whole list of different things. If, let's say, for example, a person does not say the Shema, one of the most basic sentences that we recite all the time, if this person morning and night doesn't say the Shema, so that already shows that he's not really so particular about the performance of mitzvos, and therefore because of that, he's likely also to be someone that is not going to be careful about tithes and also the laws of purity. It also makes sense. It says that if even a person does learn, but you haven't delved into the Talmud, you don't learn Gemara, you're not what's called Shimish Talmud Chachamim, so that individual also may not be knowledgeable in all the laws. And because they're not knowledgeable in the laws, so we can't trust them. They may think they're pure, but they may not really be because they don't know all the laws. They may think that they separated their food properly, but again, if they're not so familiar with all the laws because they haven't learned them, so they may actually be wrong. So they're considered to be an Am Haaretz. And then the Talmud gives other examples. A person doesn't wear talit or tzitzis in their garments, a four-cornered garment, or if a person doesn't put on tefillin. These are examples. And then the Talmud gives an unbelievable other explanation. You're an Am Haaretz if you have children, ve'eino megadlon lilmud Torah, but you do not teach them Torah. If you have Jewish children, and you may do all the mitzvos and learn Torah yourself, but you neglect your own children and their education, that is a direct reflection on you, not just your children. Because since it's in your power to be able to either educate them yourself or to provide them with a Jewish education by sending them to a Jewish school, and you do not do so, it shows that when it comes to learning yourself, even though you may seemingly know things, but if you're not providing that education to your child, then it probably means that you also don't care so much either. And therefore, you're not someone who's probably careful in tithes, and you're probably not so careful in how you go about the laws of purity. So we see from here an unbelievable thing. The reflection of how you treat your children and the values that you instill upon your children is going to very clearly show the type of person that you are. If you're someone that truly values education, you're not just going to keep that to yourself. You're going to want to make sure that those values are also instilled in your children. And therefore, if we look at the child as the expression, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and we see that this child is not getting a Jewish education, in which the parents are the ones to blame, because either they could send them to some type of a Jewish school to get some Jewish education, or the parents themselves can provide some level of Torah knowledge. If they don't do that, it's a direct reflection on you, the parent. So if you don't provide for your child, it shows that it's not something which is important to you. And this, by the way, is a great, great challenge, because when a person sends their child to a Jewish school, tuition is very high. It's very expensive. And it could actually take quite a toll on a person to be able to make those types of payments. But nonetheless, this shows that where your priorities are is of great value. And therefore, a person who really wants their child to get a Jewish education will do so even if it does cost quite a bit of money.